All right, hello everyone. Thanks for tuning in once again to Queen Ahmadiyyah TV, More Than Meets the Third Eye. I'm your host, Queen Ahmadiyyah, and this is your spiritual vitamins. Okay, so as you're coming in, please feel free to go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Be sure to click that notification bell and click the word all so you're notified each time the Queen Goddess goes live. Okay, so let's get ready to get into it. Now, today we're going to be talking about how darkness attracts light. Okay, that's what we're going to be getting into. How darkness attracts light. All right, so give me just a minute. I'm looking for something here. Like stuff, everyone, please like and share. Thank you in advance. Okay, so now with that all being said, before we get started, because ScrewTube didn't send out the notifications, okay? I was just informed that they have not been sending out the notifications. So that all been said, let's just kill some time, wait for other people to tune in so I don't have to start over so they don't miss much. And I'm going to play a guided meditation. It's about 7 minutes long. So we'll listen to this and then we will get into today's topic. Like stuff, everyone, please like and share. Thank you in advance, beloveds. Hello, Stardusters. So let's get ready to get into this guided meditation. Now, the intention of today's meditation is to invite healing into your body, mind, and soul. So let's begin. So go ahead and let your body settle into a comfortable position. Let yourself move around a little bit, releasing any tension or pain. So you can drop even further into your position. Now, when you found that sweet spot that you know so well, take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, release and relax. Listen to your breathing. Hear the soft hums of the air going in and out of your nose. Feel your chest and belly expanding and then contracting. And feel your body getting heavier with every breath out. Breathe. Maybe there are parts of you that are hurting. Perhaps your mind is holding things that are heavy, that are keeping you down, making you stressed. Maybe your soul is feeling somewhat unsettled. There may even be deep pain hiding inside of you from past traumas or different situations that you've had to endure. But it's okay. We can all feel a little broken sometimes. These moments should not dim your light. In fact, they should make your light even brighter. So let yourself relax a little bit more, and as you do so, imagine your body is easing into a warm pool of water. See yourself comfortably floating in this quiet, still pool, feeling the gentle tickle of the water on the sides of your face and the crown of your head. Slowly let your arms relax into the water, letting them
Wix gives you the power of AI to build the website you need.
Naturally spread and release. Let your chest, back, and stomach surrender to the buoyancy of the water. And let your legs open and your feet fall to the sides as you surrender yourself to this water. Now you can feel the warm water soothing you, relaxing you. It feels so good. You're so calm and tranquil. and see it glowing with the soft blue lights. You begin to feel a soft hum coming from the water. Invite it to take away the pain and worries and the brokenness, the trauma, the disdain. See yourself lying in this pool, glowing with soft blue lights, releasing the heaviness and allowing yourself to be healed as you simply breathe in and exhale out. Feel the warmth on your head as the healing blue light touches it. It's now touching your eyes, your cheeks, your mouth, and your neck. Let the soothing coming from this light, let it heal you. Feeling the healing blue light touch your shoulders, your chest, your arms and hands, your stomach, and your hips. Breathe in this soft blue light and feel the warmth healing you. Feel it in your legs, your feet, your toes. Imagine yourself covered completely in this soft, healing blue light. Let its warm glow release all of the pain, all of the emotions, all of the past, all of the traumas, all of the brokenness. Simply let it go. Leave it right there. It's here to heal you, so relax. Be peaceful. Be patient. Be tranquil. Just let it ooze away from you ever so slowly. Leave it right there. Let it go. And let the soft blue light of the water around you heal you. Now breathe in and exhale. I hope that helped to calm you and relax you and to get rid of some of the heaviness that you may have been feeling. Namaste, beloveds. All right. Okay, so that all being said, ScrewTube's not sending out the notifications, beloveds. Sorry. All right, sorry. So with that all been said, I will be on this channel every day the rest of this week. I'll be on here tomorrow. Okay, so please make sure you tune in at 6:15. I'll be on here tomorrow at 6:15. Now I'm dropping the link. And this link is to the meditation channel. If you haven't subscribed to the meditation channel, you need to do so because I have videos on there for you to listen to raise your vibrations, also for you to sleep to. Okay, this is very good healing music, these meditative sounds for you to sleep through. There's like 10 different videos and they're like 10 hours each. Okay, so you can play them throughout the night as you rest. Okay, so let's get into it. Lights up, everyone, please like and share. Now, I have prepared a PowerPoint presentation, and we're going to be talking today about how darkness attracts light. Do you have people in your life who are just, around you because they want to absorb the light that is within you? You see, some people are full of negativity and darkness, and they have this low vibrational energy, and they're always attracted to people with light. They need to absorb it. They need to feed off of it, okay? They need to feed off of it, and then sometimes they want to dim your light, okay? So please pay attention when you have these people around, okay? These people are very similar, if not the same, as psyche vampires, who also want to drain you of your energy, who want to fill you with their problems and things that are going on with them. But when you're having problems, they're nowhere to be found because they don't care about your problems, because they really don't care about you. Only thing they care about is what you can do for them and how you make them feel. Okay, so let's get into it. I'm going to share my screen so you all can see this PowerPoint. Like stuff, everyone, please like and share. Thank you in advance. Okay, here we go. Okay, so you all can see that. Okay, so let's get into it. Why darkness attracts light. Now, darkness and light is, of course, a spectrum. You see, we all go through periods where we experience more darkness or radiate more light. You know, you may be going through grief or a depression or something bad may have happened, and you may be going through a dark period in your life. Okay? Like Diddy said, he was in a dark place. Isn't that what he said? That was his excuse. But there are some times when you're happy and everything's going good and you're upbeat and high vibrational, and then you're radiating more light. Now, we all have the capacity to get swallowed up by darkness or to reflect lots of light. But at our core, we tip the scales on either side. This is not about anyone being better or worse. It's about being on different paths. And at my core, I reflect light. Okay, so hold on for a minute, beloveds. Okay, now let's continue. Some people have always been intrigued by darkness. They experience periods of deep darkness, uncertainty, and fear. Their lives are interrupted by crying spells, severe depression, and agoraphobia. But you bounce back. You see, everything always evens out. Every time you go through a very dark period, you come out stronger, smarter, better prepared for the rest of your path. You don't know why, you don't know how or why, but you can attribute it to your higher self, your spiritual self, the self you're working towards, okay? You know, we all go through different things, but it's the way you deal with or how you react to these things. Some people cave under pressure. Some people can't handle the pressure. But if you're a person who's resilient, if you're a person who is relentless and you keep pushing, you don't give up, then you're one of those people who get stronger and you get smarter because you learn from your mistakes. You learn from things that have happened. You know, you can make things a teachable moment. Now, some never understand why they end up in dysfunctional relationships and friendships as well. They don't understand that it may be their attempt at resolving their relationships with a parent, or it could also be them still suffering from some childhood trauma. See, people that have been broken, they tend to want to always try to fix others. Now, they may find themselves with partners and friends who use similar tactics to get their point across when they're hurt. You know, sarcasm, passive aggressive jokes, humiliation, emotional blackmail, intimidation, etc. They keep finding themselves dealing with these type of people. People who constantly remind you that life has been considerably harder for them other than other people. But yet they insist they're not the victims. Well, if you're always in a constant state of complaining and whining about your situation rather than trying to find solutions, you are in fact being a victim. Okay? And sometimes we are victims of our circumstances, but it's what you do about it. How are you gonna handle this? If you know the problem, you don't need to keep constantly talking about the problem. What you need to do is start talking about solutions. Trying to find a way to change things. Now, people who need to control other people so they don't feel out of control. Okay, there are some people who are control freaks. All right, people who never ask for what they need directly because because they don't believe they ever get it, and their whole identity is based on how well they've done in this life, even though things have been harder for them than everyone else. People who hate when you set boundaries around your own needs because they don't have the self-esteem to do the same. Now, it took me years to understand why darkness attracts light and light holds on to dark. Now, you may remember that a few months ago, I was telling you guys about a couple of people that were always negative, very pessimistic, never had anything good to say about themselves or others. Everything was always about gloom and doom. Everything was always about nothing's going right. It was always a sad sob story. Even though I would try to encourage, motivate, and inspire them and tell them positive things, and let them, try to get them to look on the bright side of things, they never would do it. They were so negative and it was just draining me. But I would not cut them off because I felt this inherent need to try to fix them. I felt this need to try to help them be a better version of themselves. I saw the potential. At least I thought I saw the potential. And that's what I told myself. And I continuously tried to fix their problems. But they didn't want to fix their own problems. So no matter how hard or how much I wanted to help them, they didn't want to help themselves. And the thing is, because I wouldn't cut them off, the Most High made it so that they cut me off. Because they started asking me for stuff that I wouldn't and couldn't do. And then, that angered them, so they just cut me off. And at first I was sad. I was like, man, I was just trying to help them or whatever. But at the end of the day, sometimes you have to part ways with people. And when you're a person that's full of light and you're a person who always wants to heal and try to help others, you will sometimes just let people push past your limits and you won't cut them off, even when you know that you should. When your mind and everything in you is telling you, listen, you need to get rid of them. They're lowering your vibrations. Okay, they're bringing you negative energy. You don't need that. But you still want to help them. So fortunately for me, and it is fortunate that they cut me off, honey. Okay, and I feel so much better. I don't miss them at all. I did for about a week or so, but after that, I was like, ooh, what a relief. I don't have them calling me, telling me sad stories, asking me, can you help me do this? Can you do that? And putting all their burdens on me. I don't have that anymore, so I feel so grateful. Okay, now, I always understood the connection, but I never understood why I couldn't just leave these people alone. Okay, it took me a while to figure that out. I never understood why I would see the red flags, but still think the outcome would be different. It wasn't until I stopped blaming myself that I started to understand myself and my patterns. Nowhere to go to learn that most problems in relationships and most people's individual patterns are the result of unhealed childhood wounds. Where do you go to learn this? Where do you go to find this out? The school of life. These are things we learn as we go and grow. Okay? But they are. There are patterns that we continuously engage in. There's things that we continue to do, hoping that things will be different. A lot of times it comes from childhood wounds that haven't been healed, just different things that we may have gone through, trauma, and all of that. And we learn this as we go, and we take paths based on what feels right for us. Some of us seek to find our light. Childhood wounds can scar us for life. Now, while some of us prefer darkness, pure light seeks to see the light in everyone. So it makes sense that people who are full of light often merry-go-round with partners who are consumed by darkness. You ever see someone who's really a nice person, but they're with someone who really treats them nasty, who talks to them disrespectfully, who's always getting upset with them about something? When they try to have a conversation, the person calls them a nag, like they're just nagging them or whatever. This person seems so toxic, and you're asking yourself, why are they with them? But it's because darkness is attracted to that light. And the person that's full of light wants to heal the person that's full of darkness. This is often what happens. Okay, some are unable to see past it. Remember the song, This Little Light of Mine, I'm going to let it shine. That's what you should do. You should always let your light shine, the light within you. And here's the thing. When you are around people or a person specifically who is trying to dim your light, you need to back away from them. You need to be careful of whom and what you give your energy to. That's what we have to do. We have to be careful of whom and what we give our energy to. Hey, Silent D. Silent D said, write this info down, okay? Now, with that all being said, some people call it potential. You know, like I was saying about these two people that I was dealing with. I kept saying, you know, I see the potential in them. I'm trying to help them become a better version of themselves, just as I'm trying to be the best version of myself. But at the end of the day, you can't want something for anyone more than they want it for themselves. You know, it's like that old saying, God helps those who help themselves. Yeah, you have to be willing to do the work. If you're not willing to do the work, if you're not willing to accept and take accountability for the wrongs that you do or for the things that you're lacking in, then no one else can do it for you. No matter how badly they want it, they can't make you change unless you actually want to. Now, we see things in people that no one else can see. This is what people full of light do. People that have a light within them, they see things in people that other people don't even see, that the people themselves can't see. So we hold on to them, keep them close to our hearts. It feels like the best thing we can do to heal ourselves. Some people do this until they realize that they've invested so much time in other people who can't see their own light. They haven't invested much in themselves. They do this so much, they start to think that they are dark too. You see, because energy is contagious. If you're dealing constantly with a person or people who are full of darkness, pretty soon you're going to start unwittingly taking on some of their characteristics. They'll be negative and toxic and say something disrespectful. I'm giving you an example. Or they may say something out of anger that bothers you. Now you say something back to them. These people will absolutely absorb your energy and lower your vibrations. You have to deal with them at a distance. Otherwise, you start to take in their darkness. And that's what some of them want. You see, misery loves company. Some people are in a dark place, so they want you to be in a dark place. Okay? Now, they haven't invested much time in themselves, and they do this so much, they start to think they are dark too. That must be why they're so attracted to these people, right? Truth is, it actually isn't. See, that's not why they're attracted to these people. But the reason we're attracted to these people is because we want to heal them. We want to help them. People full of light are the ones that are more spiritual. And for some reason, spiritual people always want to try to fix people, always want to try to inspire people. And that's our job here. You know, that for some of us, that's our divine purpose, to help others become the best version of themselves. But you can't always do it. And so when you see that the person's not being receptive, the person doesn't want to do anything to help themselves, you just have to back off. Now, that's why we break up and get back together. Now, think about it. You ever been in a relationship with somebody, it didn't work out, things weren't going right, and you parted ways? But then something about that person, they come back around and you find yourself right back with them. Sometimes this is why. That's why they see us as nags sometimes. And here's why. Because what happens is when you're a person who's full of light and you're dealing with someone who's negative, they'll absolutely think you're nagging them because you start telling them things about themselves that they may not notice, or that if they do notice, they think it's normal behavior. They think that everybody acts this way. And you start pointing out things to them saying, listen, you really need to stop drinking so much, because when you drink, you get upset and angry, and then you start being disrespectful. And people don't like that. Then people don't want to be around you. They don't want to hear it. You need to watch your tone when you're speaking to people. Even if you're not really angry, sometimes you come off as angry because you speak in a very aggressive tone. They don't want to hear that. You shouldn't take everything so lightly. Sometimes it's not that serious, but you get upset. You can't take a joke. They don't want to hear that. They get upset and you tell them to calm down. And I am calm. You see, when you are checking people and correcting people that are full of darkness and negativity, they will look at you as though you're bothering them, you're nagging them, you're getting on their nerves because they don't want to change. And who are you to tell them what to do? So they feel like you're nagging them. but we're challenging them. We're always challenging them to do something they aren't ready to do. We ask them to do things they may be unable to do. In some cases, they can't do these things. In some cases, it's so embedded in their psyche, in their subconscious mind, they've done it for so long that it's so difficult for them to change. This is a part of their personality at this point, and they don't want to change. So if you don't want to change, you're not going to, and you can't. You have to be willing and receptive. So absolutely, people full of light trying to talk to a person in darkness will get on their nerves. Now, once we see the light in people, we're determined to draw it out. We think that if we can do this, it will be the equivalent of hitting the backspace button and redoing the painful parts of our formative years. It never is, though. We end up feeling like failures as partners, as friends, and as people, because we think we can fix people. We think we can change things and change them. And when we see that we can't, we feel like we failed them. You know, that's almost how I felt when those two people cut me off. I felt like a failure. I felt like, okay, I was trying to help them, and I was trying to get them out of this dark place and space that they seem to dwell in constantly. And I didn't succeed. They're still in a bad place. And now I'm not going to be able to help them because now they've gotten so annoyed with me because I won't do certain things. And so now I'm not going to be able to help them. But I had to realize, hey, I can't help them anyway because they don't want the help. They don't even want to help themselves. When you're talking to people and telling them to pray about things, to meditate on things, to speak to the Most High, to have conversations with God, to try to just manifest the life they want, the reality they need, to think positively, and they're telling you, oh, I don't want to hear about God. God hates me. I don't even know why God put me here. And they start saying stuff like that. This is when you know they're really far gone. How do you change that mindset? You can't change that mindset unless that person wants to change it themselves. And a lot of times they don't. They just want to stay pessimistic and be complacent and just keep doing what they've always done, which is complaining and whining and seriously playing the victim. Now, you can only set the boundaries on what you will and won't tolerate. That's what you can do. And you see, that's what I did. And when I set boundaries on what I would and wouldn't tolerate, that's when they cut me off. Because I was like, no, I'm not doing that. No, I'm not going to do this for you. When you start telling these people no, when you start setting boundaries, they don't want to hear that. They don't want to hear that. They want to use you as a doormat. They want you to be there for them all the time, whenever they need you to show up. But when you need somebody, they're nowhere to be found. Now, you cannot lift up the layers that prevent someone from being their best person, and you shouldn't try. Relationships are mirrors. If you keep ending up in relationships or in the same relationship with a person who isn't living their best life, you aren't either. How can you live your best life when you're living with someone who isn't? How can you live your best life when you're being positive, upbeat, happy, and you're living with a toxic person who's always downtrodden, who's always, woe is me? How can you be living your best life? You can't. It's not going to happen. It's going to be an uphill battle. People with high self-esteem should not date people with low self-esteem. Point blank serious. It just can't work. We may be attracted to different kinds of people at different times in our lives, but darkness is only attractive to light for a short period. We see it as a challenge, particularly when major things are lacking, such as intellectual connectivity. Physically, emotional, and energetic connectivity is huge. But when you don't stimulate each other intellectually, you're going to get bored. Imagine sitting there talking to someone and you're trying to tell them things that you've learned about spirituality, things that are inspirational. They don't want to hear it. All they want to do is complain and grovel, tell sad stories, listen to sad music. Pretty soon you're going to get tired of it. And pretty soon they're going to get tired of you always trying to tell them what they need to change and fix. Because the truth is, a lot of times they don't want to fix it. So, and here's the thing. People with high self-esteem absolutely should never date people with low self-esteem, because that's how you get in these relationships with control freaks. That's how you get in relationships with possessive people who just raise all sorts of hell if you don't return their phone calls in a certain matter of time, if you don't return their texts, if they're calling you and can't get a hold of you and they don't know where you are. These people have low self-esteem, and so they're always worried about you doing something. Now, if they had high self-esteem, they wouldn't have time to be worried about all of that. Because people with high self-esteem think so much of themselves, they think they're the catch me out. And they're like, oh, honey, please, nobody's cheating on me. I'm a catch. So they don't worry about those things. But people with low self-esteem will nag you to death. And then sometimes they become combative and or abusive. That's how you get those types of relationships. So if you're a person who's high, high vibration, you have high self-esteem, you think highly of yourself, and you're dealing with a person who thinks little of themselves, they're always complaining, they have all of these different hang-ups about themselves, all of these, what's the word I'm looking for? All of these things about themselves that they just want to hide, right? All of these things about themselves that they don't like, that they're ashamed of, or that doesn't make them feel good. Whatever these things are, those can be problematic in a relationship because that's insecurities, basically. Okay? That's the word I was looking for, insecurities. If they have all of these insecurities or they have complexes, oh, you have a complex about this, you have a complex about that, then that person is going to be thinking to themselves, why does this person want me? I don't look that good. I'm not that great. I don't have much going for myself. When you're dealing with somebody who thinks that way, I can assure you they're going to be nothing but a headache. And like I said, they may at some point become abusive, whether it's physically or verbally, because they're going to want you to do what they want you to do when they want you to do it. And they want to get a hold of you when they want to get a hold of you. And if you're not available to them when they need you to be, then they'll start making these accusations. You could not be doing anything. You could be completely happy with them. The way they look or whatever it is that they have a hang up about themselves may not bother you, but they don't see it that way because they're insecure. They have low self-esteem. So I don't advise anyone with high self-esteem to date someone with low self-esteem. Absolutely not. It makes for a bad mixture as far as I'm concerned. So the challenge of saving someone fills the space. Now the saver gets an intellectual workout anyway, because it's hard work to psychoanalyze someone, whether you have knowledge in that area or not. It's a project. It blinds us to the things that the relationship is lacking. You see, when you're sitting there trying to psychoanalyze someone and you're trying to figure out what's wrong with them and how you can help them to be better, why they think this way, and why they feel this way about certain things or why they react certain ways about different things, you're trying to figure all this out. At the same time, you won't be so focused. Some of the time, you may not be as focused on the things that the relationship is lacking. Like you may not realize that you're putting all this effort and energy into fixing it and making things better when they're not doing anything but complaining. It's a roundabout way of keeping a relationship together when there isn't much left of it. So these projects are usually intentional, but they work to keep the two people engaged nonetheless. Now, when we repeatedly date someone or date people who aren't seemingly right for us, it's usually because on some level, we think this relationship is what we deserve. They say you are what you attract. I don't believe that. That's what they say, but I don't believe that you are what you attract. In some cases you are, but in some cases that isn't the situation. But spiritual people attract everything, you see. Your light attracts negativity, darkness, and even demons. Demons want to dim your light. They want to replace it with darkness. They will feed on your light and try to use it for themselves. Don't let anything or anyone dim your light. When you vibrate at a higher frequency, these lower vibrating people and entities will need it. In some cases, people try to swap destinies with you. Demons try to possess you because they desire a human host, and they look for the ones with a light. Because then they can fill that light with darkness when they possess these people. Now, even if you believe in that, some of you may not believe in that, but of course it's in the Bible. Okay, now be careful of who and what you give your energy to. Likes up, everyone. Please don't forget to like and share. Thank you. They also say that real recognizes real. But in truth, real recognizes everything. Real people recognize the fake, the narcissists, the sociopaths, the haters, etc. Because this is due to their discernment. okay, that is present in these individuals. I'm going to stop the share right there. This is all due to their discernment, okay? Real people have a connection with the Most High, and so they often have the gift of discernment. That's why they can keep it real. They can keep it real because they can see the truth behind the lies and deceptions. Some people can't. You see, some people have been so indoctrinated and brainwashed, they can no longer see the truth. Now, I'm going to tell you a story in a second. Nessie says, Queen, what about a person always saying they ready to get out here? How should I take that? Ready to get out here? Like, what do they mean? If you're in a relationship with somebody who says they're ready to get out here, I don't know. To me, that sounds like somebody saying, if I'm in a relationship with somebody and they tell me I'm ready to get out here, that sounds to me like they want to date other people. That's what it sounds like to me. I don't know the person, so I can't say specifically. But if I'm in a relationship, if my boyfriend told me, I'm ready to get out here, well, that sounds like you for the streets, boo. That's what that sounds. That's how I would take it. You for the streets? You want to get out here? What are you saying? So yeah, I would take that some kind of way. That's just me. Okay, and so with that all being said, here's the thing. I had a point I was about to make. Hold on. Let me see what's the last thing I looked at. I was talking about discernment. Okay. Oh no, like on the earth. Oh, okay. Well, you already know what that means. Like they're ready to die. That's what that means. If they're ready to get out of here, as out of the earth, that means they're ready to die. Nessie X laughing because I stand for the streets. I thought you meant like out of the relationship. No. If they're saying that sounds like that somebody has some type of depression going on, like maybe they want to end their life. That's something to be concerned about. And here's the thing. Let me tell you all something. When you have people that you're dealing with in a relationship who think that way, I'm sorry. You want to help them. You can try to help them, encourage them and all of that. But when you see it's not working, you need to pack up and go. Because I feel like this. If a person doesn't care about their own life, you think I'm going to expect them to care about mine? You hear about these stories all the time where somebody takes out somebody else in their relationship and then they take out themselves. You all know what I'm talking about. I don't want to say the S word, but you know how sometimes people will be in relationships and they take out the other person, then take out themselves. See, that's what I start thinking when somebody's around me and they start talking about that. You know, like, oh, yeah, I don't want to be here, this, that, and the third. I don't have time for that. And one of those people that cut me off that I was trying to help, that's when one of them was always here. That they didn't know why they were here and all this stuff. And I thought that sounded real crazy. What do you mean you don't know why you're here? You're here because God placed you here, because the Most High gave you life. They were like, I don't even believe in God. I think I hate God. Saying crazy stuff. God doesn't answer my prayers. I said, you can answer your own prayers. Psalm 82:6 says that you are all God's word of the Most High. So you can answer your own prayers through the power of manifestation. Okay? You can create your own reality. Prayer is basically a conversation, when you're asking God for things. But at the same time you're asking God for things, you have to be believing and faithful that these things will happen. Now, whatsoever a man thinketh, that so he is. That too is in the Bible. If you don't believe that what you're praying and asking God for is going to happen, then why are you praying for it? All right? It's not up to God to make you believe it. And if you don't believe it, then it's not going to happen, because the power of the mind, okay, is very strong. When you think that you can't do something, you're not going to be able to do it. Like I told you guys before, one of my favorite quotes is a quote from Henry Ford, whom I'm not a fan of, but he did say a quote that I really like because it's true. Whether you think you can or you can't, you're absolutely right. So if you're sitting there praying for God to do something for you, but at the same time you're praying, you don't believe that God's going to do it or that God can do it, well, it's not going to happen. So that's what I was trying to tell them, but they couldn't grasp that. They couldn't grasp that. Now, so what I was going to tell you all is this. Some people are very spiritual beings. Some people, we're all spiritual beings living a human existence. But some people are closer to the Most High, to the divine source, because they still have a knowledge of their spiritual past when they came from the spiritual realm into this realm of existence. That's why they call them spiritual people. Because at the end of the day, here's the thing. There was a story that someone told me. I think I saw it on a video. Yeah, I actually saw this on a video. Don't let me start lying. Hold on, let me think. This was a while ago. Okay, I actually think I saw this on a video some time ago. But anyway, in this, this woman was saying that there was a child born. There was a child born, and she had a 4 or 5 year old, right? And so the 4 or 5 year old kept asking, let me talk to the baby. Let me talk to the baby by myself. And so the mother said, okay, so she let the child talk to the baby and she left out, but she's listening at the door because she wants to hear what the child is saying to the baby. And she hears the 4-year-old saying, hurry up, hurry, tell me about it because I'm forgetting. Let me know what happens because I'm forgetting. I'm starting to forget. What was that child talking about? They were starting to forget. I'm glad you asked. They were starting to forget what happened before they came into this realm of existence. You see, when babies are born, they're fresh from the spiritual realm. Now, you may not believe that, but I do. They're fresh from the spiritual realm. You know, we choose to come here and we choose who our parents are and we choose the destiny, the life that we're living. We choose this. We're given a choice and we say, okay, yeah, I'll go here. But at the end of the day, when babies come and little children are very receptive, this is why spirits are attracted to children. This is why they say children can see angels and all those things. And in my opinion, angels, I'm not talking about the ones with wings. Those are fictitious in my opinion. I'm talking about the ancestors. The children can see spirits and things. They're very highly receptive to these things when they first get here. But by the time they turn 7 years old, they've completely forgotten the past lives, the spiritual realm. And so this little boy asking this baby, tell me what it's like. Tell me. I'm starting to forget. Because the little boy still knew about it, but some of the things he was starting to forget. I think that's absolutely why he said that. And so the thing is, those of us who are spiritual and who know a lot about, meditation, manifestation, and all of these things, some of us knew these things even as children. We never forgot some of these things. Now, we forgot many of the things, but some of these things we still always remembered. I know I did. When I was a kid, my mother said at the age of 4, she came in my room and she saw me sitting there talking. And she said, who are you talking to? And I said, I'm talking to my friend. And I was sitting there and I was just having this full-on conversation. And I was just talking and laughing and all of this. Children see spirits. And then parents will say, oh, that's their imaginary friend. No, it's not your imaginary friend. It's really a spirit. It's really a spirit. And so you're sitting there as a child. You can see these spirits. They communicate with you. Why do you think you can lay a baby in the bed and it falls asleep? And while that baby's asleep, it's laughing and smiling. Why do you think that is? Because spirits, friendly spirits are playing. From the spiritual realm, these spirits are interacting with that child. So with that all being said, Trisha said children know things when they're young. Absolutely. And then as they get older, like I said, around the age of 7, those memories have faded. But for some of us, we remember certain things about that spiritual realm. And that's why we're much more spiritual than some others. That's why we're also highly sensitive when it comes to noticing people's energy, when it comes to feeling the vibrations, when we feel like something's off. Like some people come in my presence and I automatically start feeling sick to my stomach because that lets me know they're toxic. Sometimes I meet people and I instantly take a disliking to them. They've not done anything. They've not said anything out of the way, but something in my spirit tells me that's not a good person. So I instantly have a feeling of I don't want to really interact with this person. Okay? I don't really want to interact with this person. So at the end of the day, when I was a kid, I was always into telepathy and telekinesis. And I always had prophetic dreams. And I always could predict things. I still can. But I did it so much more when I was a kid. My mother used to think something was wrong with me. She's like, how do you know this stuff? I didn't know how I knew it, but I was always interested in certain things. My mother came to my room one day when I was like 9 or 10, and I had this big yellow phone book. Remember those? I had it laying on the table in my room, and I was sitting there Indian style, and I had the book open, and I'm sitting there staring at it so intensely. And my mother said, what are you doing? Why are you looking at that phone book like that? And I said, I'm trying to make it move with my mind. She said, what? So I'm trying to make it move with my mind, like without touching it. She thought that was so crazy, and it probably did sound crazy for a 9 or 10-year-old to be saying that, but that's what I was trying to do. Now, where did I get that from? How did I know about that? How did I know about telekinesis as a kid? Because I was remembering it from the spiritual realm. That never left me. The only thing is I didn't remember that I knew it from the spiritual realm. You understand? I didn't remember where I knew it from, but that's where I knew it from, if that makes sense. So, at the end of the day, children remember things. They're very highly sensitive. Energy is contagious. You need to be careful of whom and what you give your energy to. When you see the red flags, and people, please pay attention, be cognizant of it. Don't allow yourself to get caught up in thinking that you can change someone. Oh, I see the potential. You know, so many times I've said that about so many people, friends or whatever. Even in past relationships. But at the end of the day, if you see the potential and the person doesn't see it themselves, is that really going to help you to help them? It isn't. People have to be willing to help themselves. They have to be willing to do the work. Okay? And that's why we do our shadow work. That's why we do our shadow work, beloveds, because we have to be willing to put forth the work. You want to be the best version of yourself that you can be. The Most High didn't send you down here for you to be slacking and lacking. The Most High sent you here because you have a divine purpose. We all do. And if you don't know what that purpose is, then you need to try to figure it out through discernment. You need to practice on intensifying your intuitiveness and your discernment. You need to build a stronger bond and connection and communication with the Most High, the divine source. I have conversations with the Most High all the time. Not just when things are going bad, like some people. Most people don't call on God until things are going bad. Oh, God, please help me. Oh, God, I can't pay my bills. Now you want to talk to God? No, you should be talking to God all the time. See, here's what y'all need to pay attention to. Just like you get annoyed when people call you out of the blue, you haven't heard from them in years or months or whatever, and all of a sudden they're calling you, hey, can you loan me $50? Oh, hey, I can't pay my light bill. Can you help out? They want something. Then you only hear from them when they want something. Isn't that annoying? Don't you not like it? Don't you call them psyche vampires in some cases because they drain you of your energy? And that lets you know that they don't really care about you. They don't care about how you're doing. All they care about is themselves. So they call you only when they need something. They don't have any other use for you other than that. How do you think the Most High feels? Do you want to make the Most High feel like you only call him when you need something? That you don't think about him at any other time than when things are going bad for you? You see how selfish that is? So Trisha says, I do too, Queen. I seem to ignore people, then seem to always fall for the okie doke and end up befriending them. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And you know, that's okay in some cases, but at the end of the day, when you're dealing with people that are quite frankly low vibrational or whatever, you just have to limit your time with them, and you have to know how to deal with them. You have to set boundaries. Because if you don't set boundaries, they'll run all over you. Nessie X says, so true, Queen. Thank you, beloved. The Prince of Paraphernalia says, I stay positive and just ask the Most High not to suffer. That's good, beloved. Okay? So with that all being said, Nessie X said, yeah, I'm taking my energy back. Exactly. Saturday says, true. I need to work on talking with the Most High more often. Yes, exactly. You should talk to the Most High at least once a day. Once a day. I talk to the Most High as soon as I wake up in the mornings. As soon as I wake up in the morning, I talk to the Most High before I go to bed at night. That's what I do. So I'm sorry. That's what everyone should be doing. Not just calling on the Most High when problems come. If you build a strong communication with the Most High, I promise you, your life will change. Things will start to go and work in your favor. All right? Things will start to work in your favor more often. And you will be protected from the nefarious people that set out traps and snares to capture you in, to try to trap you into things. Please pay attention. You'll be protected. All right. Don't you want to be blessed and highly favored? Okay. So with that all being said, I'm going to conclude this broadcast. I hope everyone got something out of this, and I hope you were paying attention because, again, this Friday, we're going to have Trivia Fridays. So everyone, please like and share. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Be sure to click the notification bell and click the word all so you're notified each time the Queen Goddess goes live. Now, tomorrow, I'm going to post something for the members only. I may go live for the members only, but I'm also definitely going to post something for the members only, and then I'll also post something for everyone else. Okay, I'm going to be live on here every day for the rest of this week. All right, so that all being said, Nessie said, great live, Queen. Thank you, beloved. So that all being said, I love you all to life, Stardusters. Each one teach one. That's how we grow and thrive. Do something productive, constructive, but never destructive. And always remember, beloveds, to keep the Most High first in your lives.